Hey my lovelies, it's your girl True TJ and I'm back with another video. This video is going to be another story time video. This story time is going to be about when I got into a fight at this daycare that I used to work in when I was like 18 or whatever like that. I actually got into a fight with the owner's daughter of the daycare or whatever. So if you guys haven't, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thumbs this video up, like, share, leave me a comment. I appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. If you already been here, y'all already know what's up. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome back. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, so you guys already seen the title, so you kind of got like a little gist of what's about to go down or whatever like that. I'm gonna try to tell you guys the story as best as I can. I remember it, but then some of the stories I don't remember because, you know, like when it's your first fight, it's kind of like a blur. Like I done got into a couple of fights in my life, but this was like my very first fight in front of my mom, let's say that. So oh yeah, I didn't mention that my mama was there at the time. God rest her soul. But yeah, she was there at the time. Okay, so let me go ahead and just tell you guys the story. Okay, so when I was 18, I was working at this daycare. Y'all already know I'm from Houston. So I was working at this daycare in Fresno, Texas. I think the name of the daycare was called Barrington Daycare or something like that. It was a black-owned daycare or whatever. And I actually started working at this daycare because of my friend. She put me on, and yeah, I started working at this daycare. So it was cool. It was 6 days a week. 12-hour shifts or whatever like that. So it was it was a lot. It was a lot. But you know, I do love kids and I love working for the kids, and it was pretty much an easy gig or whatever like that. But what I didn't like about the daycare, they really, I don't know what the fuck they was doing with their money, but I was coming out a lot of money out of my own paycheck for like supplies that I needed to teach my kids. I was coming out there for like snacks and stuff like that. Like a lot of us a lot of us caregivers that was working there, we had to come out of our own check because they didn't have water for the kids, they didn't have water for us, they didn't have food, they didn't have snacks for the kids. Sometimes they didn't even have lunch for the kids. So a lot of us caregivers that was working there, we run up to the local grocery store, pick up some food or whatever like that, come back to the office and cook because they did have a kitchen there. So just like, you know, we had to cook for the kids, and like when we complained about it to them, they never reimbursed us about it. You know, they always said, oh, y'all should have told us, but we'll tell them ahead of time, and they just did not care. So I felt like that daycare, it was crowded. Like it was so many kids to one person, to one adult. It was just becoming overwhelmed. I remember I had a class and it was like 20 little toddlers. It was just so hard that all of us had to like put all our kids together in one room and just make the day or whatever, because it wasn't enough adults for how many kids that was at that daycare. So I really didn't like working at the daycare, but at the time I was 18. I did not know that this was all of the things, you know, I didn't know that all this was going on. So I just thought this was like normal. I thought that they was going to fix it, but come to find out they really didn't fix it or whatever like that. It was just a really trashy ass, ghetto ass daycare that I was working in. I was so happy when I quit it or whatever. So yeah, so I was working at this daycare for a while. I probably say like, I want to say like six, maybe 8 months. You know what I'm saying? The kids there was bad. I didn't like the fact that the parents was stuck up. For y'all to be like for some of the parents to be on like government funded, they was like super stuck up. Like, bitch, I'm just here to watch your kids and make sure they don't get into no harm's way. Like, they really ain't even paying me that much. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to watch your kids and not get into harm's way. I'm not trying to bathe them, wash their fucking clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, when all my kids went home, I made sure that they was clean, because that's just, you know, who wants a child that's dirty? You know, picking up your child and your child just be dirty or whatever like that. And I made sure they wasn't in harm's way or anything like that. But so far as like going above and beyond, doing the unnecessary stuff, I'm not gonna do that. I think that's up to the daycare. Like, this is not my business. I'm just a worker. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of parents was a little bit stuck up. A lot of parents really did get on my nerves up there. But one person in particular that got on my nerve was the wife, the owner. So it was a wife and a husband, and they had 2 kids, like a son and a daughter or whatever like that. And the wife, right off the rip, when she met me, I felt like she really just didn't like me like that. I felt like it was just something about me that she did not like. I really don't know what it was still to this day, nor do I care what it was still to this day, but I'm just telling you guys stories, so I'm trying to give you guys as much information as I can. So that's just how it's playing out. So yeah, so she would just make like little fly comments towards me, and I used to tell my homegirl all the time like how I just didn't like her, how she was just rude and very negative towards me. You know, I just did not talk to her. She wasn't a very approachable type of woman. Like, she didn't speak to you. She was nice to people who was paying her, like the parents there who was giving them who was giving her this little government funding to keep her doors open. But to her employees, like, she sucked. The husband was okay. He was not as bad as the wife, but he was a pushover. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that she wore the pants in the family, and this was basically her business, and he just came on as an extra. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, they did this together. They just came on as an extra. I feel like that's his role. Like, oh, I gotta listen to the wife. It's all underneath her name. You know what I'm saying? If I don't listen to her, then basically I won't get paid. That's how I feel like he was saying. And they had two different daycares. They had one out there, and then they had one that was closer to my house in Missouri City. But that one was even more messy. That one was disgusting. I didn't even want to work there. Like, sometimes, like, when they were short staffed, they'll ask some of us adults to go over there and help out at that daycare, and I'll go over there sometimes and help out just to get a break from her, the woman, the owner or whatever like that, because she was just total bitch. So I'll go over there, and the adults over there was even worse. Like, they didn't give a fuck how they get your kids home. Like, they wasn't washing them kids' face. They wasn't making sure them kids was eating. They was giving them kids like little bitty pieces of food and stuff like that. Nap time was all day, throughout the day. The playground was dirty at both daycares. Like, the playground at both daycares was dirty. It was just unsanitary. I got tired as a teacher, and I got tired as an adult, and the other adults that worked there at the daycare, we all just got tired of having to go out there and like just clean. We had to clean up the building. We had to clean up the kids. We had to clean up, you know what I'm saying, the playground area. So it was just becoming very overwhelming. Like, they didn't want to hire no kind of help, like no kind of maid service to come in. I remember one day when I was working there, we literally had to go get toilet paper. We had to go get paper towels. You know, we had to go get cleaning supplies because we really didn't have nothing. Like, we all had like one bottle full of bleach and a little bit of water, and we'll just pass it around amongst each other to help sanitize certain things for the kids, because they literally did not supply us with shit. And when they did want to supply us with shit, they would just give us the money, and it was up to us to go get it. Or if they didn't have the money, they'd be like, oh, well, can you just go buy and we'll reimburse you, and we'll never see no reimbursement. And Lord forbid you try to ask the bitch to reimburse you on some shit, because if that was the case, like, she would have a whole fucking attitude with you, or she would just ignore you and not do anything for you or whatever like that, to the point to where you just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this for the kids or whatever. So that's kind of like how I was. Working at this daycare was like the worst job, well, probably one of the worst jobs that I've ever had in my entire life or whatever. So, like I said, me and the owner of the daycare, she just had a problem with me. I really don't know why she had a problem with me. She probably had once I noticed that she was just being real rude, of course my mouth started to get a little fly, and I just wasn't here for the shits. You know what I'm saying? I just did not care what the fuck she got going on. So I just disobeyed her at any chance I got. So I remember one incident where they want you to wear like a button down, not like a, kind of like a polo, you know, with the little 3 buttons and like a collar. And they want you to wear like khaki or black slacks or something like that, or like brown slacks or whatever. But, you know, if you're from Texas, you know it gets hot. And sometimes you got to go outside with these kids. So I just wore some cargo pants. It was like a Saturday, and I just didn't think that it was that serious that we couldn't wear cargo pants. So one day I wore some cargo pants to work, and she had a whole fucking fit. Like, she had called me into the office telling me that I can't wear cargo pants, it's unprofessional. And I'm just like, bitch, your whole establishment is unprofessional. Everything up here is professional as fuck, but you want to sit here and tell me that my cargo pants is unprofessional? Really, hoe? Really? So I was just like, okay, whatever. So once I found out like that right there would piss her off, baby, I start wearing them cargo pants every fucking day. I start wearing them cargo pants as often as I can. I was literally wearing them cargo pants just to hope that she'll come up there and catch me wearing them cargo pants. And you know what? One day I got my wish. One day I got my wish. She came up there and I had on my cargo pants. And okay, let me tell y'all. So where I stayed with my mom from the job, it was like almost like a 45 to 50 minute drive away. So that day, that day that I decided to wear my cargo pants and she was up there, after she already told me not to wear them and I already wore them again, she was just like, okay, well, you're going to have to go home and change your clothes. And I told her, if I go home, I'm not coming back. And she was like, well, if you go home and you're not coming back, then you're going to get fired. I was like, okay, cool, bet. So she wouldn't let me work unless I go home and change my pants. So I went home and I did not come back. But at this daycare, they didn't want to give you direct deposit. And back then, I really didn't know direct deposit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was only 18. So I didn't really know anything about direct deposit or like credit cards or anything like that. So I was okay with getting a check and, you know, taking it to my local grocery store, Fiesta or whatever, and get my check cash for the low. So I was okay about doing that. So when she let me go, when she told me I had to go home and change, and I told her I wasn't coming back, she was just like, okay, if you don't come back, you get fired. So I already know, like, once I left that I was going to be fired. So I wasn't tripping about it. So I was like, you know what, daycare jobs coming down in a dozen. I could always go find me another daycare job. I'm really not tripping about it. So I left or whatever like that, and wooty-woo, base. So she was just like, I had called her, and I was basically asking about my check. And I was like, okay, well, I decided not to come back to y'all office or whatever like that. I don't want to work there no more, so I just want to get my last check and I want to dip. Because I still had to pay my car note or whatever. And so she was giving me the runarounds, telling me, oh, yeah, you can come do it here, you come do it there, come do it there. And then when I called to let her know that I'm on my way, she'll either not answer the phone or she'll just totally ignore me or whatever like that. So I ended up calling her husband or whatever. And so I called him and I asked, can I come get my check? Oh, no, I lied. When I finally got in touch with the wife, she was telling me that her husband had my check and he was at the daycare, that I can go pick it up from him. So she gave me his number to call him and make sure that he had it. So I called him and I asked him, like, okay, I just spoke to your wife or whatever like that, and she said you had my check. When is a good time for me to come get my check or whatever? And he was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you come pick your check up now or whatever like that. I'm here to such and such time. Just come pick your check up and, you know, I'll just give it to you and, you know, we can be done. I was like, okay, cool. But my mom at the time, she wasn't like with the shit. She was just like, I'm going to go with you just in case something happened. And y'all know, my mom had me at a very old age, so my mom was pretty old. Like, she wasn't that old, but she was like in her 60s, okay, and I was 18 at the time. So mom was like in her 60s. So she was like, I'm just going to come with you, just in case anything happens or whatever, and, you know, we can go on from there, wooty-woo day in the third. I was like, okay, cool. So, after speaking to the husband, and I told him that I was on my way, you know, we got dressed, we got in the car, and we proceeded to go to the daycare. So, we get to the daycare or whatever like that. The owners, their daughter was at the front. Now, when you get to the daycare, it's all glass. Like, the front of the building is all glass, so you can see directly into the actual establishment. And then the rooms was divided by, like, them little slide doors. Y'all know, like, elementary school where y'all have two classes, but it's separated by that big-ass divider that can open up, and it can be one full class. That's kind of like how the daycare was set up to be or whatever like that. So, when I got there, you know, the daughter already had some kind of attitude. I'm going to call her daughter, I'm going to call her Ogre. The daughter name is Ogre or whatever. So when I got there, Ogre was already having some kind of like attitude or whatever like that. I guess the mama had told her something. Y'all know the vibe, like when y'all walk into a room and you know, a bitch just giving you that little eye or acting real stank or whatever like that. And I'm sitting there trying to ask her which room her daddy in. And, you know, basically she was like over there, like, you know, being real stank with it, you know, like ogres do. So I go up to the room or whatever like that, and he's in there with some kids, and I think they was watching a video or they was listening to some kind of audio or whatever like that. So I really wasn't disturbing nothing. So I went up to him or whatever like that, and I asked him about my check or whatever, and he was just like, I ain't got your check, my wife do. I was just like, I just called you and you told me you had my check and you told me I can come and get it. And he was just like, oh no, you can't come get your check. We mail them to you. We mail them to you. So now I'm thinking to myself, now y'all hoes playing me because y'all just got me to drive all the way up here for nothing just so y'all could try to like play me or whatever like that. So now y'all lied to me and now y'all trying to fucking play me. And I was just like, okay, I'm done with all the shit. So I ended up going into my classroom and I started picking up all my paperwork. I picked up all the stuff that I done signed at that daycare. I kept a copy of everything that I done brought for that daycare. So far as like cleaning supplies, food for the kids, I kept all that, you know what I'm saying? Just to protect myself. Like I brought books that I got at like little bookstores or like Walmart, stuff like that for the kids to read to the kids, you know. So I just started packing up all that shit. So I had like a whole bunch of shit in my hand, and I was walking out back to my car. No, my mom was sitting in my car. So once I came out of my classroom, like the dad, he was trying to knock the shit out of my hand. Like he didn't want me to take none of the shit out the building. He was saying it's property of Barrington Daycare. And I was just like, no the fuck it's not. I was like, this is what I paid for my money or whatever like that. So I just walked past his ass. And I went to my car and I put the shit in the back seat of my car, whatever like that. So while I'm outside talking to my mom, she done already stepped outside the car. So while I'm outside talking to my mom, I noticed that the daddy and Ogre, the daughter, they was in there talking, and Ogre was getting a little bit rowdy. She was getting really hyped to the point to where some of the teachers, well, some of the adults started coming out their classrooms and, you know, trying to see what's the tea, like what's going on. So, I'm standing outside, I'm telling mama what's going on or whatever like that, how they lied to me and blah, 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 blah. And she was just like, well, let's just go. And I was just like, being the stubborn person that I am, I was just like, hell no, girl, I'm not going nowhere until I get my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, he told me I could come up here and get my check. I'm up here to get my check. And now he's talking about, oh, I can't get my check. It's going to be mailed to me. I don't trust y'all because y'all ain't never paid me back from none of the stuff that I done brought for this raggedy ass fucking daycare, bitch. Why the fuck would I sit here and trust y'all saying that y'all going to give me back my money, but y'all not? Y'all not. So I was sitting there telling mama that or whatever. The whole time we just looking in the mirror. I mean, we looking in the window and Ogre was just getting rowdy. So my homegirl, she came out there and she started like talking to me or whatever like that. And I was trying to tell her the tea or whatever, telling her like what's going on. And she was basically saying that she about to quit too because they been talking shit about me. They been... Girl, I gotta fix that. They've been talking shit about me. They've been saying all this and a third about me. Just being very unprofessional or whatever. And so, when mama saw how rowdy old girl was, she was feeling some type of way, like she just wanted to leave. And I was like, no, I'm not going to leave. So the daddy came back. So the daddy came outside and he walked to my car and he was just like, you need to give me that stuff. That's property of Barrington Daycare. You can't take it. That's illegal. You basically stealing. And I was basically telling him, no, I'm not stealing. Like, this is all the stuff that I brought for the daycare, all the stuff that y'all told me to keep and that y'all was going to reimburse me on, but y'all never did reimburse me on. I was just like, I just want to take my stuff. I just want to get my check and I just want to leave. Like, I ain't trying to start no drama, nothing like that. Like, I just want my shit and I just want to dip or whatever like that. So I'm talking to the daddy, Ogre, inside the building. I'm seeing her through the glass and she decided that she wanted to come outside and start yelling. I don't know exactly what she was saying. Like, it was so long ago, so I can't remember exactly what she was saying, but she was just yelling so loudly. And y'all know I'm 5'8", so I'm pretty tall. So she was like probably like 4'11", probably 5 feet even. She wasn't that tall than me and she was fat and she was Ogre. So she come out there just rowdy, just acting so stupid, just being so stupid, just being just acting ratchet, girl. So, my mom was just like, you know, I'm going to call the cops, So, mama ended up getting on the phone with the cops or whatever like that because she thought that they was going to try to, like, jump me or whatever like that. So, the daddy tried to get up in my car and take the shit out of my back seat. And I was just like, don't touch my shit. Like, don't touch my car or whatever like that. So, he looking like he wanted to do some shit. The daughter already all hyped looking like she wanted to do some shit or whatever like that. So, I'm standing by my driver car door or whatever like that. My car door is closed. So, I'm standing there or whatever like that. And I'm getting upset because Ogre is back there talking shit, calling me all out my name, saying how she gonna beat my ass, how she gonna like asking her daddy, just let me do it, or whatever like that. My mama sitting here yelling and talking about you ain't gonna touch my daughter. So it's just a whole bunch of shit that was just like occurring all at once. So I'm just getting like, you know, my blood pressure just rising or whatever. So I'm sitting there getting upset and I'm just like, man, I was telling the teacher, one of the adults, I was like, if this bitch touch me, I'm gonna be fucking, it's gonna be over for them. And then she was saying something about bitch. And I was just like, call me a bitch one more motherfucking time. So this bitch grew some balls and she came and got in my face and she was like, bitch in my face. And so I bitch faced her and I pushed her ass out of my face or whatever like that. And she started swinging. Now I grabbed her by the hand like, no, baby, look, I never just been in the fight before, so I really didn't know that you're supposed to swing. It's like I kind of did, but I didn't. I kind of did, but I didn't. So I'm just tell y'all. So she started barking or whatever like that. After I bitch faced her to get it out of my face or whatever like that, she started swinging. So all I remember is grabbing her hand and I was banging her head against my driver window of my PT Cruiser. Girl, so while I'm banging her head, you know what I'm saying, I'm not noticing that I'm banging my own hand against the window. That's how much my adrenaline was just like at a 300, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize I was banging my hand against the window while I was banging her head, and I was trying to like bang her head against the window. The next thing you know, I just started swinging on the bitch. So we just started fighting. So some of the teachers and the daddy, ogre daddy, they ended up breaking us apart or whatever like that and stop us from fighting. And ogre was still barking or whatever like that. You know, I'm barking too, like, bitch, you can get it, blah blah blah. No matter what to what, who to who there. I don't care. Everywhere we can get it in the streets right now. Lay it down, put it down, throw these hands, type shit. So I was. So we were just basically just throwing mad shade at each other, just yelling at each other, calling each other all kinds of names. So the daddy ended up picking up ogre. I don't know how he picked up this lump of bricks and brought her ass back into the daycare or whatever like that. So the cops ended up getting there or whatever like that. And he basically was telling me that I'm trespassing, that I need to leave or whatever. And then the daddy was just like, oh, she got some information in her car. She got some paperwork in her car that she stole from office. And I was like, nope, this is my stuff. I got my stuff out there. They told me they could come get my stuff. So I basically explained to the officer everything, you know, that was like going on or whatever like that. And I could honestly say, like, the only thing that I was pretty mad about is that I really wasn't fighting her. Like, I wish I was like fighting her, because I wish that she would come now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish, you know, this would have happened, you know, when I got a little bit older, after I done been in a couple more fights. So I was just like, you know, I wish that would have happened now, or a little bit back then when I was in my 20s or whatever like that, because then I probably would have beat her ass. I probably would have known exactly how to fight a little bit more better. But I did, you know what I'm saying? But hey, so I don't really know if who won or who lost. I wouldn't say that did nobody win, did nobody lose, because she basically, she was just basically hitting me on my arms. Okay, so I'm just sitting here editing one of my Storytime videos about when I got into a fight with the daycare owner's daughter, and I realized that the ending of my video is like messing up, so it didn't really give you guys the ending of it. So basically what I was saying was, when me and her was fighting, I really don't know who won or who lost, because she basically was like windmilling me, like hitting me all on my arms, because she was shorter than me and I was taller than her. So I basically can't tell you guys who won or who lost. I can't say that I won, I can't say that she won, but the fight ended up getting broken up by her daddy and some of the ladies that work at the actual daycare or whatever like that. So long story short, like I said, when the cops came, they told me I had to leave. They said I was trespassing or whatever like that. And as I was driving home or whatever like that, I noticed that I had like bruises on my hand or whatever. And that's when it clicked to me that I wasn't actually like just fighting the girl. I was literally trying to bang her head against my window of my car at the time. So I really don't consider that as me fighting her. Okay, like that. Like, I feel like it was just a little push and shove type shit that was going on. But yeah, they ended up sending me my check through mail or whatever like that. And I ended up getting another job within that same week at another daycare. But long story short is, like, don't work for no ghetto ass, bougie ass daycare. Don't work for certain people that look down on certain people because of your standards. Like, they feel like they was above me because they was the owner of the daycare, and they kind of treated their employees as if they was beneath them. Like I said, they was unorganized, they was unprofessional, they didn't have anything for the children. I had to pay for everything out of pocket myself. So it was just a really bad environment. It was a really horrible job to work at, and I can't believe this type of situation happened to me, especially in front of my mom. But it did, and we here, baby. We here. I'm still fabulous, and they can kiss my ass and kick rocks or whatever like that. So yeah, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching my story time. Excuse me. I'm so sorry that it kind of just ended abruptly like that, and I had to come on here like this and tell you guys the ending of my story time. But you got it. You got what was going on. You got what I was trying to say. Okay, I threw it at y'all and y'all caught it. Okay, period. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys subscribe, like, share, leave me a comment, thumbs this video up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Y'all be safe. Bye, my lovelies.